Matt Busby was no stranger to Main Road, of course. As a 17-year-old, he was about to join the rest of his family and emigrate to America when City invited him to come south instead.
My application for a visa at that time was delayed. And that delay changed the whole course of my life. Instead of emigrating to America, I emigrated to Manchester.
Busby became captain of City, winning his FA Cup medal in 1934. But before the war, he signed for Liverpool, who wanted him to then return as a player and assistant manager. But back in Manchester, the Scottish wartime captain was going to be made an offer that he just couldn't refuse.
Gibson called both Crickmore and my father into his office and said, look, we've got to have a manager. And two names have been mentioned to me, both PTI, physical training instructors in the army, both about to be demobbed. One was Joe Mercer and the other was Matt Busby. And my father said to Gibson, well, look, Matt Busby's a man, I know him personally. I wanted him as a player when he played for Manchester City, but we couldn't raise the £150 that Peter Hodge, the manager of City, asked for Busby. And I feel sure that I could persuade Busby to come along and take over the club. So Gibson said, right, go ahead and do it.
And so on the 19th of February 1945, Company Sergeant Major Instructor Matt Busby put pen to paper. At 34, he inherited a First Division club with no ground, no training facilities and debts of £15,000. His first critical signing was a former Welsh schoolboy international named Jimmy Murphy, who Busby had heard addressing soldiers in northern Italy during the war. Together they formed the dream team that would guide the destiny of Manchester United for the next 25 years, inseparable through triumph and tragedy on the strength of one chance meeting.
What I can't understand really is Matt only played against my dad. He didn't know him to speak to, just to say hello to. And yet, this fella giving a talk to these soldiers about football must have impressed him so much that he said, oh, that's a chap for me.
Murphy nurtured the youth programme that had been set up before the war. Busby later said that his first move into the transfer market was his best. Winger Jimmy Delaney came from Celtic for £4,000. The new orders started as they meant to go on, winning their first league game in charge against Grimsby.
Guiding United is ex-star Matt Busby, keeping a player's eye on the first-team workout. How many Manchester races can you pick out? Among these are Mitten, Warner, Pearson, Chilton, Delaney and Rowley.
I was a bit in awe because, to start with, I wasn't a United supporter, I was a City supporter. There was only one team in Manchester then, and the City team of Swiftdale, Barkas, Busby, Cowan, Bray, Toseland, Hurd, Tilson, Doughty and Brooke were my heroes, and to have Matt Busby here was fantastic for me.
The mould had been set. Success with style, the Busby way. In the first season, his old team Liverpool pipped his new charges to the title by just 1 point.
The new soccer season gets a great send-off, and these supporters at Manchester were typical of crowds who pack grounds in all parts of the country to cheer their favourite team to victory.
He never had team talks. He used to say, this fullback's a bit rugged. Watch yourself. I'll watch himself, boss. OK, right. And he'd just go around each one like that and tell them what to do. And now, listen, boys. One thing I must impress upon you. You're playing football for yourselves, but you're playing for Manchester United. Now, get out and enjoy it. Go on. Never had a team chat. My father used to be my coach, really. We'd sit around the tea table at home after playing in the A-team, or the first team, and he'd go through each move I'd made and what I'd done wrong, and then he'd say to you, you should have done that. Right, I'll try that next time, Dad. My mum and him used to fall out on Saturday nights. Wouldn't be talking to each other till Sunday morning.
Charlie was a great personality. He was very lively, very bright, would always come in late, and the boss would perhaps be talking and he'd just run in and jump into his on the form and say, right, I'm ready, I'm here, you know. The boss would be taken completely out of stride.
Who were the players that you admired in that team?
Henry Coburn, because when he got the ball, I knew I was next to touch it, and he gave you a crisp pass on the floor, not head high, anything between to your feet.
We kept the ball flowing. Busby said it's round to go round. That's his proverb, Matt Busby. And we played it. We played one touch, or just two touch, no more, two touch. And it was flowing all the time like that.
I thought they were the best bunch of lads I've ever met on a football field in my life. And I back them to this day to beat any of the United teams.
Same team every week, more or less, that team, honestly, unless somebody was injured. Aye. Everybody will tell you who's of a certain age, they'll tell you, they'll name the team for you.
Crompton, Carey, Aston, Anderson, Chilton, Coburn, Delaney, Morris, Rowley, Pearson and Mitten. That was the team that won the Cup in 1948.
Villa Park drew the biggest crowd of the day. Over 65,000 people were there to see the match against Manchester United. You can recognise Villa by their light sleeves and by the fact that they started off by scoring a goal in the first 15 seconds of the match by Edwards. That was a sensation, of course, but so was Manchester's reply. They came back with 5 goals in a row. Rowley headed one through. Morris got their second. Pearson made it 3-1. Then, after Morris had scored again, Delaney brought the visitors' lead to 5-1 in the first half. Final score, 6-4 for Manchester.
Charlton's hopes of retaining the cup slip when skipper Johnson loses the toss on Huddersfield's neutral ground. A 35,000 crowd sees the cup holders against the favourites, dark-shirted Manchester United. A deflected long shot by wing half Warner tricks Bartram, and it's a goal! Johnny Morris starts a midfield movement that makes rings round the Charlton defence. The ball goes out to winger Delaney, and from his centre, Mitten heads goal number 2.
United's quarter-final opponents were Preston North End, and the goal spree continued. Stan Pearson scored twice in a 4-1 win. Charlie Mitten got one, and Jack Rowley bundled in from close range. Against Derby County in the Hillsborough semi, Pearson was unstoppable, grabbing a hat-trick in the 3-1 victory, which took Manchester United to Wembley for the first time in their history.
Another highlight of sport drew a capacity crowd of 99,000 to Wembley Stadium for an All-Lancashire Cup final between Blackpool, wearing white, and Manchester United in blue shirts.
Well, out there in the middle, Johnston spins the coin. Carey calls, but wrongly, and Blackpool have won the toss anyway. United kick off, and very soon the Seasiders come sweeping down into the Manchester half. Playing in the unusual colour of royal blue, United are taking their usual time to settle down. Blackpool, on the other hand, get off the mark quickly. United fans look anxious. And in the 14th minute, Mortensen again races through, only to be tripped by Chilton just as he's about to shoot. Without hesitation, referee Barrick points to the dreaded spot. Fullback Schimble takes the kick. He shoots hard and low, and it's a goal. Then on the half hour comes Blackpool's first defensive lapse. Hayward and Robertson hesitate, and opportunist Rowley nips in to lob past the goalkeeper and glide the equaliser into the net. Yes, his coolness has fully earned the handshakes of his colleagues, and anyhow, it's just the tonic the Manchester fans were waiting for. The foul on Matthews gives Blackpool a free kick. The winger stabs the ball to Kelly. A quick flick, and Mortensen shoots on the turn to give Blackpool a lead of 2 goals to 1. It looks odds on the Seasiders now. Suddenly, it's United's turn. A quickly taken free kick for a foul on Delaney. A glorious Rowley header, and they're on level terms. 70 minutes gone, the score is 2-2. Manchester spirits, sore as throats and rattles, roar out their appreciation of Rowley's effort. With their tails right up, United start to get a real grip of the game. Crompton clearing, bangs the ball down the centre. Pearson has it, and his cross shot hits the post before ricocheting into the net to give United the lead for the first time. 6 minutes later, Anderson clinches the issue with a well-judged shot from 30 yards. And in the closing stages with Coburn and Anderson prominent, it's Robinson who has his work cut out to keep the score down to 4-2. And there goes the final whistle. It's a great day for Manchester. Favours, rattles and rosettes away frantically in the air. The losers congratulate the winners and join the fans, all except one anyway, in cheering United's captain, Johnny Carey, as he receives the cup from the hands of His Majesty the King. Careful, Johnny, don't drop it now. It is yours. And this is where United call once again on teamwork. Carey has the cup, Mitten the lid, and Pearson the plinth. United they call them, and united they are. And that's what won them the cup. And what does it feel like to be captain of a cup-winning side? Well, I can't think of a better way to finish than by asking Johnny Carey to tell you himself.
I'm very pleased to have been taking this cup back to Manchester again after a period of 40 years.
Every man, woman and child of the cotton capital seems to be in Albert Square to cheer the 11 heroes of the hour, cup-winning Manchester United. Lord Mayor Mary Kingsmill-Jones gives the players a civic reception. Holding tightly onto the cup, skipper Carey makes way for the players, led by centre-forward Jack Rowley, to acknowledge Manchester's thanks.
The good times were rolling again, enough of them for the first history of the club to be published. In August 1949, an emotional return to Old Trafford, still undergoing repair work following its wartime pounding. It was a new experience for many of the players, but they beat Bolton 3-0 in the homecoming game. But the cup-winning team was already starting to break up. Johnny Morris left for Derby, whilst to the astonishment of United fans, Charlie Mitten made a new life in Colombia. But after 4 post-war seasons in runners-up spot, United at last won the Championship again in 1952. Jack Rowley scored 30 goals on the trail of the club's third title. His partner in crime, Stan Pearson, weighed in with 22. Sadly, the war had taken 6 prime years out of their careers.
Rowley got the first. Soon afterwards he got another. And now his hat-trick.
And Jack used to play with his fist clenched, I noticed this, you know. And if he hit a ball, he'd swing round and probably caught the man on his bloody chops and so on, you know. He was that type of a lad.
He looked after little Henry Coburn. If anyone had touched Henry, he was in at him. And Jack, he could score with his left foot, right foot, 30-yarders, cross a ball. It was brilliant. He scored 8 goals for Wolverhampton Wanderers in one match and 7 for Tottenham, because in those days, they guested during the war.
Stan Pearson was another one, a great gentleman, but a great ball player. And a great goal snatcher, Stan. It was amazing how he could pop up for goals.
Rowley scored a hat-trick in the 6-1 win over title rivals Arsenal, which clinched the championship. It was the last great hurrah for the team that Matt Busby had inherited and inspired. There were babes on the way.